The quietest goodbyes in America, what the Amish teach us about death. Have you ever wondered how death is honored in the quietest corners of America, where horses clip-clop down dirt roads, and the hum of a cell phone is never heard? Where death isn't dramatized, but surrendered to, humbly, gently, as if part of the natural rhythm of life? This is not just about funerals, it's about a way of life slowly fading from our modern world. In this deep dive, we uncover the powerful, haunting, and serene death traditions of the Amish, how they say goodbye without noise, flowers, or spectacle, and how their Mennonite neighbors just down the road send off their loved ones a little differently. If you've been searching for a rare glimpse into a way of life untouched by technology or hurry, this is the only video you'll need. Stay with us, you won't hear death spoken of quite like this anywhere else. 1. Where death begins with a knock, not a notification. In Amish communities, death begins not with sirens, phones, or online announcements, but with a knock at the door. A neighbor, eyes red, might whisper softly, "She's gone." There's no panic. No frenzy. Just a sudden shift in the rhythm of life. Word travels by mouth, neighbor to neighbor, across dirt roads and farm fences. No texts. No calls. Just a community moved by purpose. This quiet transmission of grief reveals a truth: for the Amish, death is not an interruption. It's a continuation of God's plan. In contrast, Mennonites, still deeply faithful but more connected to the outside world, may send a group message, make phone calls, or post online to share the news. It's a subtle but telling difference: one world stays hushed, the other lets the news ripple out a bit louder. 2. Preparing the body, a sacred and silent ritual. When an Amish person passes, their body is never left alone. From the moment of death, older women from the community, trusted and often related, begin the gentle, sacred task of washing and dressing the body. No embalming. No cosmetics. No trying to preserve what is destined to return to dust. The deceased are clothed in white, simple, humble garments that reflect purity and surrender, not beauty or status. Mennonites vary more, some do the same, while others may turn to funeral homes where embalming, formal wear, and even makeup might be used. The Amish resist all of it. Their message is clear: the body is not something to preserve, but to release back to the earth, plain and unadorned. 3. The wake, where silence says goodbye. In an Amish home, the wake unfolds in near silence. Candles flicker. Long wooden benches line the room. A handmade coffin, plain, heavy, still, sits in the center, built by familiar hands. People come, heads bowed. They sit. No eulogies. No soft music. Maybe a whispered prayer. But mostly, it's silence, deep, thick, and full of meaning. Mennonites, by contrast, often allow more sound into grief. You might hear hymns, quiet conversations, stories shared in gentle voices. Sometimes someone stands to remember the deceased's kindness or faith. But not the Amish. They don't celebrate a life. They surrender it. The silence is their tribute. And somehow, it says more than words ever could. 4. The funeral, long, cold, and spoken in High German. Funerals come quickly, usually within 3 days. The Amish gather by the hundreds, dressed in black or navy. Men on one side, women on the other. No flowers. No photos. No programs. The service stretches on, often over 2 hours, spoken in High German, not the German of Europe, but a sacred, biblical tongue preserved for this very moment. The sermon doesn't dwell on the deceased. Instead, it turns hearts toward heaven, urging the living to stay ready, for death waits for no one. Mennonite funerals can look similar, but modern touches appear: printed programs, spoken eulogies, songs in English, even photo slideshows. The Amish allow none of it. For them, it's not about the person left behind, but the soul that has gone on. 5. The casket, built with hands that knew the dead. Amish caskets are works of humility. Made from raw pine, without varnish or embellishment, they're heavy, unadorned, and honest, just like the lives they carry. They're often built by someone close to the deceased: a cousin, a friend, a neighbor. No hinges on the lid. No satin inside. Just a plain lining in the shape of a life well lived. Mennonites may choose polished caskets, metal or wood, with brass handles, cushioned interiors, and inscriptions of scripture or remembrance. For the Amish, every nail in the casket is a symbol of simplicity, faith, and the community's promise to carry one another, even into the grave. 6. The Final Journey, by wagon, not limousine. There are no hearses in Amish funerals. No black limousines with tinted windows. The casket is placed on a simple horse-drawn wagon, covered with a cloth, and pulled slowly through the countryside. The procession moves at the speed of the horse, deliberate, somber, reverent. Hooves on dirt. Wind through fields. No flashing lights. Just quiet movement. Mennonites may use funeral home vehicles, hazard lights blinking in a line of cars. But the Amish believe the final journey should match the life lived, humble, silent, and slow. It's a ride that demands attention not with sound, but with presence. 7. Burial by hand, a community's final duty. At the grave site, often on private land, there are no machines. The men who built the casket are the ones who lower it, using ropes held in steady hands. The earth is shoveled in by those same hands. No loud speeches. No mechanized lowering. Just dirt falling softly, and the sound of grief being buried, one scoop at a time. Mennonite burials may use machines or professionals, with readings and songs. But Amish burials are entirely communal. From death to burial, the responsibility is theirs. Nothing is outsourced. Nothing is rushed. Each act is a final act of love. 8. Life after death, no shrines, just chores. Once the funeral ends, the Amish return home, not to grieve openly, but to continue living. Cows must be milked. Fields tended. Quilts sewn. There are no framed photos placed on mantels, no anniversary candles, no online tributes. Mourning is quiet. Personal. A river beneath the surface. Mennonites often allow for more visible remembrance, photos, grave visits, even social media posts. But the Amish move forward, not because they love less, but because they trust more. They believe God holds what they can no longer touch. So, they let go. 9. Teaching children about death, without euphemisms. Amish children are not shielded from death. They attend the funerals. They sit in silence. They help with food afterward. No one says grandma's asleep. They are told plainly, she has gone to be with God. There are no sugar-coated metaphors. Death is real. It is part of life. And heaven is real too. This truth is planted early, growing roots of strength and acceptance. Mennonite children may experience a gentler introduction, books, explanations, sometimes separation during the hardest parts. But Amish children are taught young, life is fragile, and goodbyes are real, but not final. 10. One faith, two roads, same sky, same hope. In the end, both Amish and Mennonites bow their heads to the same God. They share a deep belief in heaven, in grace, in life beyond the grave. But their paths differ. The Amish walk slower. They avoid the spotlight. They mourn in silence. The Mennonites embrace more of the modern world, music, expression, even celebration. But the soul's destination is the same. Their methods may differ, but their hope does not. Both communities walk the narrow road, with their eyes on the same eternal horizon. One tradition closes the door and prays, the other opens it and remembers. But both believe, the grave is not the end, only a bend in the road. Now that you've glimpsed the funeral traditions of the Amish, perhaps you feel it, the sacred hush, the simplicity, the honesty in how they say goodbye. It's not about spectacle. It's about surrender. A quiet faith that doesn't fear death, but walks with it, slowly, gently, reverently. If this touched your heart, stay close. There are more quiet truths like this, waiting in the hidden corners of America. Until next time, may we all learn to walk a little slower, love a little deeper, and let go a little more freely.